There are slight arguments in favor of the Canon R5 over the Sony A7S III for vlogging purposes. There's not a lot there, but we can hold on to it. So today we talk a little bit about why the Canon's better in some ways and why they still lead the industry. 45% of the market. Sony, the next highest is Sony at 20%. That's loser talk. How do you even make money? PlayStation whore.
All I want is the perfect camera. All I want is the perfect camera.
So we're on the Fuji, Samyang Tony 2, Black Pro Mist, Deity mic. I could speak from behind if I wanted to. For example, if I wanted to show the park that I'm in, there's yoga practitioners over there and cyclists. I can't tell if my horizon is level. That's unfortunate. I can't see anything. The flippy screen's awkwardly placed because the cord's in the way, ruining my life. But I can do it. So it should be any day now I get a Sony A7S III in for testers from Camera Canada. Thank you, homies. I have a contact that's working with Sony, and he couldn't get me one. Whereas Camera Canada, they got the connections. So hopefully we'll test it soon. I'd love to have a R5 at the same time, but I don't think that's in the cards. Canon knows I hammer my way through life, and they do not provide for their children. So I've been thinking of this. I've seen a bunch of comparisons now. Parker Wolbeck, he made a great one. Sony A7S III versus R5. I prefer the look of the R5. The colors are better. Stabilization's better. I have nothing else. If I'm being honest with you, stabilization might be number one, unless you're careful like I'm trying to be. Just walking slowly. Once you slow down, I bet almost anything works. I really have to alter my vlogging style to use this camera, because when I just want to walk somewhere, I see it. I see the wavies. But bravo to Canon for actually making full frame IBIS usable, unlike Panasonic. I was trying that S1 out here. There wasn't a lens on the planet that could be stabilized by that thing. It just wasn't good. And Canon, first try. Panasonic's been doing IBIS for years with their GH line, a loser, third size. So that's easy. It's like holding a baby versus a grown-ass man. I hold men. What, you don't? Be real with yourself. But along comes Canon, smooth, almost Olympus level. Like, it's good. And if you get the right lens, which nobody's using the 22.8 for some reason, that's your lens. It's an EF lens, you got to adapt it. It'll probably behave well. Black Pro Mist filter, son. I find it so funny that people think the 15 to 35 is your vlogging lens. How the hell is that thing a vlogging lens? It's so heavy you would never bring it anywhere. This thing's already heavy enough. It's a bit much. That thing is not the vlogging lens. But technically speaking, if you have that 24mm 22.8, you have a smoother image with better colors. That's all you have though. If we're being real, dynamic range is more important, and Sony killed it. Sony killed it. Fuji would kill it. I can't wait to kill it with something. The G85. But in general, when you're just looking at the image, uncolor corrected, it's beautiful. And that's why Canon leads the industry, because people are stupid and they say, oh, that looks shiny and beautiful. Look at the skin. Oh, he's so beautiful. Will I be like that? And then you film yourself, you're like, oh, wow, I look like that? Oh, I should have looked in a mirror. But that brings me to an important point. Canon owns 45% of the market share. That's one company owning half. And there's like 6 decent, somewhat respectable companies. That's a pretty high number. So you'd think, oh, so they're the best, right? No, people are stupid. They just go for shiny things. Oh, look, there's silver. It's a bear trap. You're a nerd. That's like saying McDonald's is the healthiest restaurant because it's so popular. Like, there's one on every block. There's 2. There was one point on Yonge Street. I was looking. I saw 3 McDonald's within eye's reach. Like, how fat and lazy are people that go to McDonald's like, oh, okay, get the coffee here, and I can walk a bit, and there's the donut. Now we go for the Big Mac. We bring it home with the Big Mac. iPhones are super popular, but they suck. You go with a Samsung S4, and you ride it till it dies. That's what I've done. I really should upgrade. That's bullshit. I can't use any new phone, any new camera. Like, I can't use the apps that come with anything. I'm at Android 4 or something. The old one. Ice cream or something. It's not good. Is there a reason I'm at like 3.2? Oh, God. Oh, why? It probably looked better than it ever has. Oh, boy. But just because something's popular doesn't make it the right decision. A lot of people watch mainstream news. It's just brainwashing fear. Do not follow it. Oh, so many of my audience watches it. Oh, why aren't you wearing a mask? Oh, I want to slap a mask off my mask. The karate chop's probably not the best method. The elastics would just pull your ears down a bit. It would cause some pain, and that would be funny, but it's not going to get the mask off. Just because something's popular doesn't mean you should follow that crowd off a cliff. Not saying Canon's bad. You could have fun, and let's talk about it. R5, R6. The R6 apparently unusable, because they don't even have a lame version of the 4K. You can only do the oversampled, which overheats, so you can't rely on it. I might be able to do a video like this, but I'd be worried, can I do any B-roll of epic squirrels? Where? There's none. And when I say overheating, I mean please buy our cinema cameras mode on. It doesn't even overheat. The things are cool to the touch. It could cool down your other cameras if you place it on top. I've done it. But that R6, you're looking at 1080p. I don't know that I could go back to that. I probably could. That was the whole theme of my channel. Good 1080p. Let's switch. Let's do it. Oh wow. Fuji lets you do the cinema 1080p. Wow, 17:9 aspect ratio. Are you believing that right now? Did you see much of a difference drop? I'm still gonna upload it to 4K, up-res. But, well, here we are. I don't mind a good 1080p. I might try the Sony A7S III in 1080p, and I find Fuji does 1080p. They were the best. Now Sony A7S might have topped it, but Fuji takes care of business. Panasonic was really good. Olympus was terrible. Sony the worst. APS-C, that was the worst. I suppose this is doable. This is what I started my... No, I didn't. I started in 480p. Let's not forget that. I started a YouTube channel, 100% 480p. One day I upgraded to 720p for so long. People would say, oh, your skin looks so much better back then. I was like, 720p, asshole. Anybody looks good in that. Forever young, I wanna be forever young. I'm getting wrinkles on my face. Help me. But technically speaking, R6 versus Sony A7S III in 1080p, the Sony might be sharper, but the R6 will have better IBIS and likely better colors. You're good to go. Sony has the better lens lineup. It's somewhat equal. A lot cheaper for the Canon. Then you buy a lens, that sets you back a house. You're good. But Canon's biggest lack, they still have not addressed it, is dynamic range, which is really what cinema cameras are all about. That's why things look cinematic. Gerald Undun's favorite word. Like this. It's just the highlight dignity of my face. It's not clipping hard. Canon can't do that. I'm trying to keep myself sideways from the sun. I think that's the balance. When you're right on it, it's like, oh God, you look like you're in pain. And then when you're behind it, you're a little dark. Although Fuji, no, they don't. Until I test them, I won't know for sure, because that Sony IBIS might be absolutely unusable. It probably is. Maybe. You never know, it might be good. But the dynamic range and the 240 frames per second, that would win me over. And then they got the better lenses, the 20mm 1.8 for the vlogs. You could do a whole YouTube life with that lens. Just out here, it'd be fine. Go back for the studio. You got your wide angle. It's not as flattering. I'm keeping an eye out for my mom. We're gonna play backgammon in the park. But you could do that, and if you wanted a little more professional look, so people took you serious, you get that Sony 55 1.8 or the 85 Zeiss probably 1.8. 1.8 primes all the way. Sony's got you covered. Canon went for the 1.2s. They're too big and heavy. But Canon cameras are pretty easy to use, even though they don't give you a lot of functions and customizability. It's pretty easy to access everything, touchscreen, boom. I think Sony still has to press a function menu? Oh God. You have to press a button to access the touchscreen. This is 1994. Keanu Reeves has won our hearts. So I was gonna say, if you choose the Canons, you'll probably get the more pleasing image because of the IBIS and the better colors, but then the Sony dynamic range will win your heart eventually if you know how to color grade, which I don't. But if you learned, then you could make that look so much better than the Canon. Same with like my Panasonic GH5S. It looks so good, but I don't love the colors because I don't know how to tweak. I don't want to, oh, shade the reds down. Oh, magenta. Oh, fuck that magenta life. So I was trying to give you a reason to get the Canons, but I probably would still lean Sony. But until I test them, that's when things change. I test a camera and it's like, oh wow, this is different. This actually works, or it really sucks. So, what are your thoughts? Sony winning our life? Nikon plummeting. That hurts. They were the ones, the chosen ones, chosen to suck. There's wind. Is it handling it? Alright. How was the 1080p? How's the microphone? Let me know down below. Subscribe for more videos and I'll see you on the next one. Bye. The camera gets bad.